terms of defiance that one United Nations member state decide to defy the mandate provided by all the other member states at the General Assembly to prevent and dismantle the agency which the rest of the international community has said will be the one we put in place to support Palestinian people. Now what does it do? First, we as an agency, we are asking all member states to help us for this law not to be implemented. And secondly, to shield the organization, safeguard, insulate into any political process or any political pathway which would lead to a two-state solution and to empower Palestinian institutions. That UNRWA, in fact, in any transition, would have a critical role to play, providing education, primary health, helping also to build the capacity of the future state of Palestine. Now, if this doesn't happen, and we go into a worst-case scenario, and the law is really implemented, this will start to put an end to the agency operation in the occupied Palestinian territory. In the West Bank, we have 50,000 children in our school, 500,000 people completely rely on our primary health care, and basically we are the second biggest employer after the Palestinian Authority. East Jerusalem, highly symbolic. As you know, we have the headquarters. There are also intentions from the Ministry of Planning and Housing to take over the headquarters and to build a settlement, the symbolic of settlement in East Jerusalem in a UN headquarters. And then we have Gaza. Gaza, we all know that the International Court of Justice has requested the international community to beef up, scale up its response to prevent a situation which in the future can be qualified as genocide. And at the same time, we would dismantle the main platform, the main operator in Gaza. That would weaken our collective effort. But more than that, if tomorrow we have a ceasefire, we will have a transition, a long transition from a ceasefire to a day after. Who will bring back the 100,000s of girls and boys deeply traumatized, living in the rubble, into an education environment? Who will provide primary health? We represent 70 to 80% of the primary health services in the Gaza Strip nowadays. To get rid of UNRWA today would deprive these children the right to education, deprive these children from a better future, sacrifice an entire generation, and sow the seeds for more extremism and resentment. Because there is no, and make no illusion, there is no United Nations agency geared to provide public-like services such as enrolling 100,000s of girls and boys in primary and secondary school. None. Only a public administration, only a functioning state. If we talk about alternative today, you need a functioning state to take over these activities.
You said that you have called on member states to try and prevent this ban, but realistically, what can they do?
Well, you know, the region is fast changing. I think we could feel it today. The trepidation, excitement, and also anxiety and question in the room. Now, it all depends on the direction the region will take. But if, and let's hope for the best, we talk about promoting peace and security, we talk about promoting cooperation and future normalization, this can take place if the Palestinian question is being addressed. And if this becomes a priority, addressing the Palestinian question would certainly not go through getting rid of UNRWA before the question is being addressed. So if there is a genuine appetite to go in this direction, this certainly could be a way for an agency like ours to retrieve its temporary nature.
One of the other issues facing your agency is the lack of funding. The United States, which is your biggest funder, suspended their funding till March. I presume you can't be that optimistic if they're restarting following the recent elections in the United States. How close is UNRWA to running out of money?
You know, if we would have met a year before October 7, I would have said that our main existential threat is of a financial nature, because we have this tension between what we are expected to deliver as a public service provider without the fiscal tool of a government, depending only on voluntary contribution and our resources. We were the only organization living with a negative cash flow, very unsettling for everyone. Now, at the beginning of the year, when the allegation came out, 16 countries have frozen their contribution to the agency. But because of all the action we have taken, they have resumed the funding to the agency. Now, it is true that the main donor, the United States, has stopped its contribution in 2024, and there is absolutely no indication that they will resume anytime soon. We will be able to muddle through in 2024. The forecast in 2025 is bleak for the time being, because there is also a number of European countries going through austerity budget, slashing their international cooperation budget. But what we have seen this year also is an extraordinary generosity from the public. We succeeded to raise more than $130 million only in 24. Since October 7, $170 million through private donation, unheard in the history of the agency, shows the grassroots support the agency has enjoyed. Plus, we have also seen a number of countries from the global south contributing to the agency, which they never did. And we had also a number of European countries who decided that instead of decreasing, we will increase our contribution to the United Nations, to UNRWA. All this does not compensate the lack of the US, but I still believe that if there is a genuine commitment for a political process that UNRWA is part of, that we will find ways to support financially the agency.
Your agency, of course, operates not just in Gaza, but also in the West Bank. I was there reporting in August and September.